Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. So this is the discussion for assessment 1. The total mark for this assessment is 30 marks for part A and 15 marks for part B. Okay, let's start with question number 1. Solve the inequalities below. Illustrate the solution in interval notation and real number line. So this is linear inequalities. Because the highest power of x is 1, and then we have inequalities symbol. Okay, but for this particular question, we have x on the left, in the middle, and on the right. Okay, so the method to solve this question is we need to separate. Okay, first part of the solution is x plus 4 less equal x over 3 plus 3. And then the second part of the solution is x over 3 plus 3 less than 6 plus 5x. Okay, because we have x on 3 sides. Okay, so 2 solutions. Okay, let's start with the first part of the solution. Okay, many of you multiply 3, but you forgot to multiply 2 all. Okay, you must multiply with x, with 4, and also with 3. So from there you can get 3x plus 12 less equal x plus 9. And 3x minus x less equal 9 minus 12. 3x minus x is 2x. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. So x less equal negative 3 over 2. Okay, this is the first solution. For the second solution, okay, we take the middle part and write equation. So x plus 3 plus 3 less than 6 plus 5x, so it's the same. If you want to multiply, then you must multiply with all. So x plus 9 less than 6 multiplied 3 is 18. 5 multiplied 3 is 15x. Okay, and then we can put terms with x on the left. We can move all terms with x to the left and terms without x to the right. So x minus 15x less than 18 minus 9. So 1 minus 15 is negative 14x less than 18 minus 9, 9. And then remember, when we move a negative value to the other side and the operation is multiply or divide, we must change the inequality sign. So now we want to move negative 14 to the other side. It becomes divide. Okay, negative 9 over 14. So we must change the sign. Okay, earlier the sign is less, now the sign is more. Okay, so these are the two answers. But the question asks us to give in interval notation and real number line. Okay, these two is in inequalities of form. Okay, to give answer in interval notation, okay, this one is because it's less than negative 3 over 2, so negative 3 over 2 negative infinity. Dia lebih kecil sampai negative infinity. Less equal, so close bracket. And this one is more. Dia lebih besar daripada negative 9/14. Bila lebih besar sehingga positive infinity. We both open bracket because the value is only more. And then union. Okay, this interval union with this interval. So this is the answer in interval notation. And then in real number line, to put the two values, the smaller value on the right and the larger value on the right and the smaller value on the left. For negative 9 over 14, open circle. Okay, because the sign is small, and for negative 3 over 2, whole circle. Okay, empty circle and whole circle. Then, sambungkan. Okay, and this is the answer for question 1A. Proceed to question 1B. So here we have another inequalities. This one is rational inequality. Okay, because we have equation in rational form. Okay, many of you make mistake here when you straight away multiply this 2 minus x multiplied by 1. That is totally wrong. What you should do is 3 over 2 minus x. Bring 1 to the left so that on the right we have 0. So this is the right way. You cannot straight away multiply. Then 3 minus Q1 multiplied by 2 minus x over 2 minus x. So 3 minus 2 plus x over 2 minus x more equals 0. Simplify. 1 plus x over 2 minus x more equals 0. And then to get the critical values x, first we take from numerator. Okay, from numerator we have 1 plus x equals 0. So x equals negative 1. And then from the denominator we have 2 minus x equals 0. So x equals 2. Okay. When we have critical values, the next step is we must do the interval table. Okay, bila ada critical value, mesti buat interval table. The first column is the interval. Second column for test value. Third column is we want to find the sign. Okay, to find the sign, we will substitute into the last equation, which is 1 plus x over 2 minus x. Okay, first interval, always start from negative infinity and choose a smaller value between the two critical values. So the smaller value is negative 1. And then second interval, negative 1 until 2, the second value. And then the last one is until positive infinity. Okay, always start from negative infinity and set positive infinity and then arrange your critical values from smallest to largest. Choose one test value from each particular interval. Okay, from negative 1 we can choose negative 2. Negative 1 to we can choose 0. 2 to infinity we can choose 3. And then substitute into this equation to find the sign. Okay, let's start with negative 2. 1 plus negative 2, negative 2 minus negative 2 is positive. So negative divided by positive, negative. 1 plus 0, positive. 2 minus 0, also positive. Positive divided by positive is positive. And then 3. 1 plus 3, positive. 2 minus 3, negative. Positive divided by negative is negative. So our signs are negative, positive, negative. And then based on the question, okay, the symbol of inequality is more. Okay, when the symbol is more, we will choose positive interval. So the answer is from negative 1 until 2. Okay, now we want to determine whether the bracket is open bracket or closed bracket. Okay, the sign is more and equal. Okay, because there's equal, so most probably the bracket will be closed bracket. However, remember, since we have equation in rational form, okay, in fraction, denominator must not equal 0. Okay, so x cannot equal 2 because if 2 minus 2 will equal to 0. Therefore, 2 open bracket. Okay, we assume 2 is not included sebab kita tak nak denominator ni nanti jadi kosong. But for negative 1 is included. Why included? Because the sign is more and equal. Okay, there is equality here. Okay, and then in real number 9, so put the two numbers. For 2, since the bracket is open, 2 is not included, then empty circle. Negative 1, the value is included, close bracket, then whole circle. It's very hard to do the whole circle. Okay, and then sambung. Okay, I'm sorry. I make a mistake here. I just realize it now. It's not like this. Okay, until positive infinity to the right, negative infinity to the left. Okay, positive infinity ke kanan, negative infinity ke kiri. But this one, negative 1, 2, so we connect the two dots. Next question. Okay, masih lagi inequality, but this time, this one is for the special case. Why special case? Because we have modulus on both sides of the equation. Okay, special case. For special case, we will apply this theorem. When you have modulus A, this will equal to square root of A square. Okay, for special case, where we have modulus on both sides, we will apply this theorem. Modulus A equals square root A square. So 5x. 5x square. Okay, square root of 5x square less equal square root of 3x minus 3 square. And then we can cancel both square roots. We are left with 5x square less equal 3x minus 3 square. Okay, 5x square. Okay, square each element inside the bracket. 5 square is 25 x square. X square. But for this one, 3x minus 3 power 2, okay, expand. 3x minus 3 power 2 is 3x minus 3 multiplied by 3x minus 3. Okay. When you expand, you will get 9x square minus 18x plus 9. Okay, we can put that here. And then let's bring everything to the left and simplify. So 25x square minus 9x square is 16x square plus 18x minus 9 less equal 0. And then what we have here is quadratic inequality. Okay, quadratic because the highest power of x is 2. Proceed to factorize the quadratic. Now we get 8x minus 3, 2x plus 3, and then from the factorization, we can find the critical values x. From first bracket, x equal to 3 over 8, and then from the second bracket, x equal to negative 3 over 2. And then just like before, okay, from rational inequality, After the last simplification, we get critical values and then we proceed to make this interval table. Okay, this one also the same. Starting from special case, okay, after we do some operation, we get two critical values and the next step will be to continue to make an interval table. So first column is for the interval, second column test value, and third column we want to find the sign. Okay, we will substitute into the last equation 8x minus 3 multiplied by 2x plus 3. Okay, first interval always start from negative infinity and choose a smaller value between these two critical values. So negative infinity until negative 3 over 2. Second interval from negative 3 over 2 until 3 over 8. Okay, and the last interval from 3 over 8 to positive infinity. Okay, test value, choose one test value from each interval, negative 2, 0 and 1. Okay, for the sign, let's substitute negative 2. Negative 2 multiplied by 8, negative 16 minus 3 is negative. Negative 2 multiplied to negative 4 plus 3 is also negative. Negative multiplied negative, we get positive. And then 0. 0 minus 3 negative, 0 plus 3 positive. Negative multiplied positive is negative. And lastly 1, 8 minus 3 positive. 2 plus 3 also positive. Positive multiply positive, we get positive. And okay, to choose the interval, look at the question. The question is less. Okay, when the inequality sign is less, okay, here less, then we choose negative interval. So the values are from negative 3 over 8, negative 3 over 2 to 3 over 8. And then to determine the bracket, okay, since the sign of inequality is less and equal, so both brackets are closed bracket, okay, because less and equal. And that is the final answer because express the answer in interval notation. Okay, next question. This one is complex numbers. So given a complex number z equal to minus 3i, we want to find I power 7. And then z with a cap here is z conjugate over 5 plus 2i. Okay, first let's find I power 7. I power 7 is I multiplied by I square power 3. Okay, nak pecahkan kuasa 7 ni, nombor 1, kita mesti selalu mula dengan I kuasa 2. Okay, we always start from I power 2 because why I power 2? Because I power 2 is equal to negative 1. I power 2 equal negative 1, so we always start from I power 2. Tapi I power 2 tak boleh jadi kuasa 7. So I power 2 power 3, from here we only get I power 6. So we need to add another I. And then replace I power 2 or substitute I power 2 with negative 1. Negative 1 power 3 is negative 1. And then I power 7 will equal to negative I. Okay, so again, to simplify I power 2 anything, always start from I power 2. Okay, because I power 2 equal negative 1. But from I power 2, we can only get I power 6, so we must add another I. So substitute I power 2 negative 1. Negative 1 power 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 multiplied by I is negative I. Okay. I power 7 is equal negative I. And then we have Z conjugate. Okay, for conjugate, we will change the sign of the terms with I. Kita akan tukar sign untuk term yang ada I. So kat sini term yang ada I adalah negatif 3I. Z conjugate akan jadi 2 tambah 3I. Kita tukar. Sini negatif, conjugate dia jadi positif. Tapi kalau sini positif, conjugate akan jadi negatif. So now we can substitute. I power 7 is negative I. Z conjugate is 2 plus 3I over 5 plus 2I. Expand. Negative 2I minus 3I squared over 5 plus 2I. And then I squared. Again, I squared is negative 1. So negative 2I minus 3, negative 1. 5 plus 2I. Negative 2I, okay, minus 3 multiplied by negative 1 plus 3. Okay. We have simplified the numerator, and now for the denominator, we will multiply by, to solve, okay, fraction of complex numbers, multiply by conjugate of the denominator. The denominator 5 plus 2I. The conjugate is 5 minus 2I. Just expand. Multiply numerator and numerator. Denominator and denominator. Negative 2I multiply 5. Negative 10I. Negative 2I, negative 2I plus 4I squared. 3 multiply 5, 15. 3 negative 2I, negative 6I over 5, 25. Negative 10I, positive 10I, minus 4I squared. Simplify. Negative 10I, negative 6I, negative 16I, plus 4. Replace I square by negative 1, plus 15 over 25. Negative and positive minus 4. Okay, I square is again negative 1. Continue here. Negative 16I. Okay, negative 4 plus 15 over 25 plus 4 equal. So negative 16I. 15 minus 4. 15 minus 4. Is 11. Okay, the standard form of complex numbers is A plus BI. So A is 11 over 29, and then B is the term with I, so minus 16 over 29I, and this will be the final answer. Next question 3. Given the center of a circle is negative 4, 2 and negative 6, 5 is the point that lies on the circle. So if we try to sketch the circle, here we have a circle center at negative 4, 2, and then we have one point maybe over here, and that point is negative 6, 5. That lies on the circle. Okay, determine the radius of the circle. Hence, write the equation of the circle in standard form and sketch the circle. So, radius is here. Okay, the distance between the center to the point. Okay, this is the radius. And since we have the coordinate of these 2 points, we can use formula distance, okay, to find the radius. X minus X, so let's say I choose this minus this, so negative 6 minus negative 4 square, okay, formula for distance, and then plus y minus y, so 5 minus 2 square, everything square root. Okay, use formula distance because radius is distance from center to the given point. Okay, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2 square. 5 minus 2 is 3 square. Negative 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. So radius equals square root 13. Okay, we get radius square root 13. Standard form. Standard form of circle x minus h square plus y minus k square equal r square, where h and k is the coordinate of the center. So center is at negative 4, 2. So x minus negative 4 square plus y minus 2 square equal square root 13 square. X plus 4 square plus y minus 2 square equal 13. Okay, and this is the standard form. Sketch the circle is probably like this. With the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, here we have radius of square root 13. Okay, given two lines, okay, first equation of straight line and second equation of straight line. These two are equation of straight line. If axy is the intersection point between these two lines, find the coordinates of A. Whenever we want to find intersection point, we can use simultaneous equation. Okay, nak cari titik persilangan, kita boleh guna persamaan serentak. Persamaan serentak, let's say the first equation is 3x plus 2y equals 16. Let's name this as equation 1. The second equation, 7x plus y equal 19. This is equation 2. Okay. For simultaneous equation, you can choose whether you want to do substitution method or elimination method. Okay, for me, I want to use elimination method. So equation 1 minus equation 2 multiplied by 2 because I want to eliminate y. So equation 1, 3x plus 2y equals 16 minus equation 2 multiplied by 2. So 14x plus 2y equals 38. 3 minus 14, negative 11x. 2y minus 2y. Okay, we successfully eliminated y. 16 minus 3x is negative 22. And from here, we get x equal 2. Okay, once we get x, you can choose any of these two equations to find y. Okay, then I substitute into the second equation. Okay, substitute into the second equation. So y equal 19 minus 7 and then x is 2. 19 minus 14, y equal 5. Okay. But the question asks us to find coordinate of A. Okay, A, X, Y. So coordinate of A is 2, 5. Okay, and that is the correct answer. Next question. Okay, this question is for function. So we are given two functions, function fx and function gx. We want to find the domain and range of fx. Okay. Fx is square root 2x plus 9 plus 1 is square root. what you need to know about square root is that we have to make sure the value inside the square root is always positive. Positive or more equal than 0. Okay, the values inside square root must always be positive or more equal than 0. So 2x plus 9 more equal 0, x more equal negative 9 over 2, and that is our domain. More equal negative 9 over 2, close bracket, negative 9 over 2 until positive infinity. And then as for the range, so again, this is our function 2x plus 9 plus 1. Oh, 1, sorry. Okay, range is the answer. Domain is the possible values for x that we can substitute into the function so that we can get a solution. So again, domain is all possible values of x that we can substitute into function so that we can get a solution. We do not want error. So x mesti lebih besar daripada negatif 9/2. Sebab kalau lebih kecil, nanti kat sini jadi error. Okay, square root tak boleh baca nombor yang less than 0. Okay. So since we have to make sure that the answer at the front is positive or more equal 0, and then this part will always akan jadi lebih besar daripada kosong. But we have plus 1 at the back. Okay, kosong tambah 1 adalah 1. Jadi our range, the answer will start from 1 to positive infinity. Kita takkan dapat lebih, kita takkan dapat jawapan yang kurang daripada 1. Sebab kat depan ni akan sentiasa positif. Sentiasa positif, paling kecil kosong. So kat depan ni sentiasa kosong, paling kecil. Tapi ada tambah 1, kosong tambah 1, 1. That is our domain and range. Okay, inverse. G inverse given. Okay, gx is x over 3x minus 4. Okay. To find the inverse, let kita assume gx is equal to y. So let y equal x over 3x minus 4. So we will alter this equation. We will edit until we get x on the left and whatever y left is on the right. Okay, kita akan tukar. Kita akan jadikan x yang di sebelah kiri. So first kita multiply 3xy minus 4y equal x. Sebab kita nak x kat sebelah kiri, semua yang ada x kita bawa ke kiri. 3xy minus x. Okay, the one without x bring to the right. Yang tak ada x bawa ke kanan. Okay, then we can factorize the x. Factorize x. 3y minus 1 equal to 4y. Leave only x on the left and bring everything else to the right. Okay, sini dapat macam ni. Asalnya kat kiri y. Kanan ni in terms of x. And then kita edit. Sehingga kita dapat x sahaja di sebelah kiri. And in terms of y di sebelah kanan. But for the final answer, make sure to replace. Ni kena gantikan semula. So, G inverse x equal 4x over 3x minus 1. That is the final answer. Okay. F composite G inverse 0. Composite maksudnya kita akan masukkan G inverse. Okay, kita akan masuk G inverse dalam F. F tadi, Fx adalah square root 2x plus 9 plus 1. Okay, ini fx. Tapi sekarang kita akan jadikan dia f g inverse x. Okay, x kita akan gantikan dengan g inverse. So, 2. Okay, instead of x, ganti dengan g inverse, which is 4x over 3x minus 1. then plus 9 plus 1. Okay, untuk x. Okay, boleh simplify 8x over 3x minus 1 plus 9 plus 1. Okay. But the question 1, F composite G inverse 0. So originally what we find here is F composite G inverse X. Now F composite G inverse 0. So replace X by 0. 8 multiply 0 is 0. 3 multiply 0 is 0. 0 minus 1, negative 1. 0 divided by negative 1 is 0. 0 plus 9 plus 1. And then square root 9 plus 1. Square root 9 is 3 plus 1. The answer is 4. Next question. Okay, this one is for synthetic division. Okay, synthetic division is one method to solve cubic equation. Cubic equation, the highest power of x is x power 3. Okay, to solve cubic equation, we learn two methods. Method number 1 is by using long division. And method number 2 is synthetic division. So the question asks us to solve this cubic equation, the cubic because x power 3, by using synthetic division. Okay, for synthetic division, let's construct the table. So x power 3, x power 2, x, and constant. Okay, mesti ada x kuasa 3, x kuasa 2, x dan constant. Okay, first, okay, after we construct the table, okay, y2 here because factor x minus 2. Factor x minus 2 equals 0, so x equals 2. Okay, we put 2 here. And then substitute the coefficient of the cubic equation. Okay, this is the cubic equation. X cubed plus mx plus 30. So x cubed, the coefficient is 1. X squared. Okay, we do not have x squared sebab lepas x cubed dia terus x. So untuk x squared letak kosong. Okay, sebab tak ada. And then mx, the coefficient is m. And then constant is 30. Okay, we start. Bring down coefficient for x cubed. So bring down 1. 1 darab 2. 2. Tambah. Kosong tambah 2. 2. Dan darab sekali lagi. 2 darab 2. 4. Tambah. Bila tambah dapat m. M tambah 4. Darab sekali lagi. M multiply 2 we get 2m. Plus 4 multiply 2 plus 8. Dan tambah lagi. We get 2m plus 38. So what we have here is. Okay, reduce one more time. Okay, x cubed divided by x. This is x squared. X squared divided by x. This is x. X divided by x. So this one is constant. And then this one is the remainder. Okay, the question is find the value of m. Okay, we have m over here. Since x minus 2 is a factor, then remainder will equal to 0. So this is our remainder. 2m plus 38 will equal to 0. Sebab dia kata x minus 2 ni is a factor. 2m equal negative 38. M equal negative 38 divided by 2. So m equal negative 19. That is the answer. Question 5. Okay, log. The easiest way is to bring 1 to the left. 90 minus 1 because both are constant. 125 is 5 power 3 and put the original index or power in a bracket. So 90 minus 1 is 18. Log 5, 5 power 3 multiplied to x, 6x. We can bring the power to the front. 6x log this 5, 5. Log this 5, 5 is equal to 1. So 18 over 6 equal to x. Final answer, x equal 3. And then the last question, question B. Find y. Okay, 3 over 27 power y equal 81 power 4 minus 3y. So we have 3, 27 and 81. Try to change all these three numbers into the same base. And the most suitable base is base 3. Atas memang dah 3. Bawah 27. 27 is 3 power 3. So 3 power 3y. 81 is 3 power 4. Okay, bila bahagi, index dia, contoh A power m divided by A power n. So A power m minus n. Kalau darab, power kita tambah. Kalau power yang darab, kita jadi mn. So this one is bahagi. 3 saja maknanya 3 kuasa 1. So 3, 1 tolak 3y. So macam ni, kena darab. 16 minus 12y. Okay, when we have same base on both sides of the equation, we can cancel and we can just take the index or the power. Okay, kumpulkan y on the left and terms without y on the right. 12 minus 3, 9y, 16 minus y, 15. Y equal 15 over 9, or if you simplify, y equal to 5 over 3. And that is the final answer. I hope you can recheck all your answers and make correction where necessary. Remember, all this topic will be asked again for final assessment. So make sure to redo all the question and make sure that you really understand why the solution is like that. And that's all. Thank you very much.